G'day and welcome to Foord Offroad. Today I have this 2006 Toyota Hilux. I'm going to show you how to change the timing belt on it. We're going to need just a basic socket set, some spanners, some sick Milwaukee tools, and obviously the timing belt kit, which is a Repco kit. That is the part number, and when you get one, make sure that it's one that has this tensioner in it. This tensioner needs to be replaced every time you change the timing belt, yet somehow not every kit comes with it, so make sure you get one with a tensioner. And obviously you need your GoPro stuff to film it with. Let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to take the engine cover off. Next, we're going to take the timing belt cover off, which is two 10mm up the top, two in the middle, and two at the bottom. The two bottom ones can be hard to reach. If you move the power steering reservoir, it just makes it a little bit easier to get your hand down there. And one right down the bottom. As usual, the last one's the hardest to reach, down there next to the belt. I don't know if you can even see it on the camera. And I'm going to need to use a normal ratchet for that. Gonna have to go old school. The last one. Now we can go ahead and remove the timing belt cover. Just pull it back and up. So first of all, what we're going to do is get 19mm spanner. It's a good idea if you've got a really long one. And crack the crank bolt, because we have to take that off to change the seal that's behind it. The kit comes with some new seals, a cam seal and a crank seal. This particular timing belt doesn't run off the crank, so I don't see why they give you a crank seal. But anyway, since you have to pull the timing belt off to change the cam seal, and we're changing it anyway, while we're here, we'll do it instead of putting it back on, and then in another 10,000 k's the cam seal's leaking. So loosen that off first. Just like that. Now we're going to get a socket onto the crank and turn it over to the timing marks line up with the timing marks on the back of the case, and also timing marks for the injector pump line up. So set our magic Milwaukee tool to maximum ugga-duggers. Take the dash plate off so that we can get access to the crank bolt without taking the radiator out. Should just be 4 12mm bolts on these sides. So now that's off, get under here, we have 22mm socket on the ratchet onto the crank. We can turn the motor over to top dead center till the timing marks line up. So it helps if you got someone to help you with this so they can look in the top while you turn it.
Keep going. You're nearly there. Keep going a little bit more. Okay, perfect.
So now I'm going to take the timing belt tensioner off with my fancy tool that's going flat. There's one bolt. It's just two 10mm bolts to hold this on. And now the timing belt is loose. Oh, look at this. That's professional or what? Look at that. skill, and now dropped it. Okay. Now I can take the timing belt off. Just slide it off. That's the old one. 10mm Allen key bit in that one. To undo the idler or the tensioner. This is the tensioner pulley, but the other thing's actually a tensioner. There's a washer behind it too. That washer's got to go back in. Actually, kit probably gives you a new one. So there's that. Out of the way, you get a new one of those with your kit. Okay, we're going to take the cam pulley off. Just loosen that. Don't take it all the way off. Just self a knockometer. Once you've loosened that, don't take it out of the way. Just loosen it. Get your knockometer and just give a few taps. And it'll loosen it up. And then you can take it all the way off and I'll just grab this. You can't really mess it up anyway because it's in a keyway. I'll show you. So it goes on in a keyway, so you can't really mess it up. You got this little piece that sits in that, and that's tapered. Probably can't see that. That's tapered, so you can't put this sort of thing on backwards unless you're an idiot. So now I'm gonna undo these 10mm to get to the cam seal. And drop that one. It's alright. Pull this off. And that's the cam seal. I'm going to pull that out and replace it with a new one. Just clean it all off. Clean off the shit. This car also has a pretty bad rocker cover gasket leak, which will be getting fixed at a later date, and no doubt there'll be a video on that as well. That's a rock cover on this is shit. You got to take the injector lines off. You got to, because it's just, yeah. That'll get done eventually anyway. So once you cleaned all the dirt off that, get a screwdriver and pry it out. The littler screwdriver, the better. Okay, just get, that's the smallest one I can find. Just get it in there and twist it sideways. Pop that seal out. You got to be careful that you're only pulling on the seal. You do not want to mark, because that's only alloy. You don't want to scratch the alloy, or obviously the seal won't seal. So just get it in there like that and go like that. Don't twist it up, because then you'll scratch that, and don't roll it because you'll scratch that. Just go in and around like that. Now we're ready to put the new seal in. So the timing belt kit comes with this oil seal pre-assembly lube. I just put a ring of it around on the inside there. Just put some on and then spread it around with your finger. So the seal straight away has lubrication and doesn't burn out straight away. So just get that all around in there. And then push it onto the shaft. And this is not the recommended way to do it, but this is how I'm doing it. Just give it some love taps to get it in there. Make sure you're hitting it flush, don't hit it on an angle and wreck the seal. There is an actual cam and crank seal remover and installer tool that I have at work to do that properly, but it's still in there and it's still fine. But I don't recommend using a hammer unless you don't want to spend $500 on the tool. Anyway, that's in there. We're going to put this plate back on. I love this tool so much. It is amazing. Okay, so I'm just going to put the cam pulley on there now. I'm going to put it on there properly, but I'm just going to put it on, and then once, I'm going to make sure that keyway's lined up. There we go. And just do the bolt up loosely by hand, and then once the timing belt's on, I'll pull it back out and do it up with some Loctite. That's not a great angle, but that's how I got the camera to sit. So new tensioner with, you reuse the old tensioner bolts, they don't get replaced. And leave that pin in, don't pull that pin out until, oh no, that pin, the grenade pin, don't pull it out until you've got the belt on there. Just do that up. Just gonna do it a little bit with this. And then I'm gonna make sure it's how tight I want it to be with the ratchet. Don't want them to be over tight, but they do need to be firm. You definitely don't want to do it up to the point where you're going to snap these bolts off in there, because that would be really bad. Old tensioner, old bolt, old washer. Put that down in there. If you don't put that washer on the back, so wait till I get this tight. If you don't put that washer on the back, where is it? If you don't put that washer on the back, that won't move, and therefore it won't actually tension the belt, and it'll be in the wrong spot, and you need to put that washer. So again, this has to be pretty tight, but don't snap it. Oh, that's tight enough for me. Now we're going to put the belt on. So before you put the belt on, that's the old one, this is the new one. These are alright, they're pretty short timing belts. You need to count how many it has, how many little grooves. Because if it has one groove, this is made for this car, this kit is for a Hilux, but still better to count the grooves and be 100% certain you got the same amount than to blow your motor up. So let's do that. Okay, so make sure you remember which one you start at. So I'm going to start at the one that's underneath the gates symbol and count around. Okay, so I've just counted them. Both of them have 98 because they're for the same car. Another thing you can do, if you don't want to count them all, but this is less accurate, just turn it inside out. Turn the old one inside out. And just spread them out like that and try and pull it tight. And if one side matches when they're stretched tight, then the other side has to match too. Turn it back in the right way. Let's chuck it on the car. For the timing belt, so that the words, if you're reading them, they're the normal way. There's a line on the top that lines up with the cam mark, and then there's a line on there that will line up with the fuel, the high pressure fuel pump line. So first up, I'm going to wrap it around the fuel pump. Let's go one more. It's hard to get these to just move one set around because they actually lock in pretty well. So that's there, I've got it around the bottom one. That's on the tensioner pulley as well. Now I've got to just get it onto this. I'll put it on this first, then on the tensioner actually. They will be a pretty tight fit. Okay, that one's lined up there, that one's lined up down there. Now all the slack's on this side. You don't want all the slack on this side. So get the ratchet underneath and just turn it a little bit anti-clockwise so that it transfers the slack onto this side before you pull the pin out. So I'll get down there and do that. Okay, hopefully you saw that move. Turned a little bit anti-clockwise, or maybe clockwise. Turned it one way. Notice that that's real tight now, and all the slack is on the tensioner side. That's how you want it. So we're going to pull the pin out. Moves that little ball. That moves the bearing, pushing onto that. Now I'm going to take this back out and put Loctite on it. Bit on there. I have to go overboard just a little. Screw it back in. 19 mil again. That's push on the back of that. Just makes a bit more tension from it turning. Do it up pretty tight. Get underneath on that ratchet again and turn the engine over twice until that's lined back up, and then check that both timing marks are in the same place, and then if they are, we'll put it back together. If they're not, then you've messed up. So I'm going to turn it over. So that one's lined back up there. The one, it's kind of hard to see. That, we put it on a weird angle. That there, that's lined up. So we should be good to start the vehicle. Those white lines on the belt, they won't line up again once you turn it. That's just a good indicator to get it on in the right spot. Them in. I've already done the bottom ones. I did them off camera because they're a pain to reach and takes so long. And the battery's gone flat. So that's that on. Put the power steering wheel back on and the engine cover back on. And we are almost done. We're done in the engine bay anyway. Now we can start it and see if it explodes. Hopefully it doesn't. And give the timing belt change interval for these Hiluxes is 150,000. This one has 415,000 on it. So I'm going to put the next interval at about, I'll put 530,000. So, because you don't want to do it too late, 530 or 540,000. I'm going to stick it on the car just there, because in the off chance that they have a crash, the door might get replaced and then they won't know when to change the timing belt. So I'm going to put that there. So now I've finished the engine bay. I'm going to reset the timing belt light. See, it says T-belt needs to be replaced. So first you have to make sure that the odometer is showing the Ks. Has to be the Ks. Can't be, if it's showing trip, then it won't work. Turn the key off. Hold this button and turn the key on. To accessories. Just hold it. And then let it go and press it. It'll show 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that is increments of 10,000. So I'm going to set it for 120,000. It'll come back on. Then just hold it again. when it goes back to normal Ks, car off, back on, and the timing belt light should go out, which it has. Bonus. And now we can start the vehicle. And that sounds like it's running perfectly. If it doesn't run perfectly, you'll know about it. It'll be making knocking noises and all sorts of stuff. Anyway, that's done. So that's how to change the timing belt in a KUN26R Hilux with the 1KD 3-litre turbo diesel engine. Same procedure for a Toyota Prado, and some of the Toyota Hiluxes are the same as well. Subscribe to Foord Offroad, follow Foord Offroad on Instagram to see whatever I get up to. Crashing motorbikes, jumping motorbikes, mainly crashing motorbikes. Sometimes I jump, sometimes I land on the wheels. Anyway, subscribe, like, follow on Instagram, and stay tuned for more videos. So that's how to change the timing belt. Timing belt is a major part of your engine. If you don't know, if you're just a backyard mechanic, probably wouldn't suggest giving it a go if you don't have any idea what you're doing. But if you want to, that's how you do it. And if you do explode your engine and make cam, rockers, touch, push rods and smash valves and things go into other things and pistons come out the block, then that's not my fault, because you fucked it up. Enjoy.